G'day ZKD here, and today I want to make a bit of a ramble video about medieval engineers because I've been thinking about and playing this game a lot more than I expected to. When I was younger, I used to spend a lot of time like building catapults out of paddle pop sticks, you know, the ice cream sticks, and rubber bands, and setting up little like soldiers in dirt and like blowing up things. Basically having as much fun as I could, like building little machines and making siege warfare and stuff happen. And medieval engineers seems to be capturing some of that. You can build some pretty amazing things in this game with some pretty simple tools. Like, for example, here we have a partisan catapult. This isn't one I built, this is one I just downloaded off the workshop. Something pretty cool that someone else has put together. Mobile kind of catapult that stores its own ammunition and everything. So then it's pretty frustrating that you can build these awesome things, but when you go to use them, things like this happens. So, it's kind of funny the first few times, but because of the potential there, and because of how fun and satisfying it is to build some of these things, it starts to get pretty frustrating that things can go so catastrophically wrong, and without like any real solid explanation or reason. So I don't even know what happened to that. It's going off. It's cascading off into the distance. Goodbye, partisan. I didn't expect that to happen. Last time I tested this, the platform blew up, but it didn't float away into the distance like that. So that can be a little frustrating, and it's frustrating me more than I expected. Like, I kind of expected to jump into an early access title that's early alpha and have things not work, right? And be kind of funny when buildings fall down and stuff like that. And it has been. Like, I streamed this for 6 hours and had fun just kind of blowing up stuff and failing with things. But it started to get frustrating only because there's actually so much potential of what you can build here. So this is one that I actually put together myself. There's a similar catapult that I based this on the workshop, and I started making modifications, and I have a differently modified one as well that has 3 different spring points. But this is kind of like a ballista style catapult, right? And you see that I can attach ropes to my rope drums just here, and I'll show you the problem with some of these devices at the moment, so I think I hit the wrong thing. There we go. Let me attach the ropes to each of these guys. Okay, so I'll show you the problems with this. So this is an aimable ballista that I built. It's a stationary fixed one, so it does. I built it this way so that it doesn't explode platforms like the previous catapults and mangonels if you watched my highlights video. But I can aim this, and I did this by creating like a latch block sort of mechanism at the bottom, and then basing everything based on that, which is pretty cool and satisfying to do. So let me try and wind this thing in at the moment. It's actually working, kind of. No, not really. So there's some bugs with rope drums at the moment. Like, again, just another one of those things. It's like, oh man, like I can build so many cool things. It's really frustrating that it's not working. This is kind of just a venting video, honestly. As I said, it was just going to be a ramble, but I'm kind of just venting about the potential of this game and the frustrations of the things not working. So to get around this rope drum bug, where eventually things will just stop winding, I actually built 2 rope drums so that I can wind it in different directions and wind it in, and then hopefully get it fully wound down. And yes, it works! I think I might actually be able to get this working for you guys. I might actually be able to show you for the first time in the history of my medieval engineers videos and streaming a working piece of siege equipment that doesn't damage. There's a little spoiler over there. But let's test this out, guys. I'm going to try and shoot this tower. It actually worked! Oh man! Yes! So this took this took a lot of testing and a lot of experimentation, because the one I got from the workshop was I could place it and it worked, but it wasn't aimable. Like, you couldn't rotate it around or anything like that. So this took a lot. Yesterday morning, I had the day off streaming, and I spent like 4 hours kind of just like rebuilding someone else's catapult and then modifying it heavily and like trying to get it to work. And I like rebuilt it exactly the same, but then it had like no firing power and the ball dropped out the front, and then it wouldn't wind, so I had to put 2 rope drums, and then I tried making further and further modifications. But in the process of doing this, in the process of rebuilding someone else's siege equipment and making my own modifications and testing and things like that, I started realizing the power of just giving people a few simple tools. And I think we've seen this with Minecraft and we've seen this with other games, but I haven't seen a game, to my knowledge, I haven't seen a game that does what this game does, what offers exactly what this game is, and that's giving the simple mechanisms to make yourself medieval siege equipment and medieval machinery, and then sort of like super normal or like out of the ordinary medieval machinery. So we take a bunch of simple stuff, right? Like here's a beam. I can adjust this to whatever size I want, and this is like the foundation of any machines and stuff you're going to be building. So let's say we place some of these guys down. And then we take something like a catch block, just is. It's called a catch block, and this is essentially a square block with a square beam in the middle of it. It's got a circle hole cut out of it. So if I am to put this here, essentially what I can do is then attach another beam to the middle of this, and if I rotate this around the correct way, and then essentially what I've done now is created like a rotor point. Like I can do many different things with this very simple piece of equipment. So now if I build something off in the distance there. So now if I build this just here, I've created something that I can spin around, and you can start to do some pretty interesting things with that. Like I made myself an aimable catapult just there. And then you start getting things like rope drums, rope like latching points that you can latch things onto. In addition to like the catch block I had before, here's a locked catch block that only spins in one direction. And then there's even things like that provide essentially power. This is like a kind of like a windmill turner thing. It's designed to turn windmills. You activate this and it slowly turns. I've actually seen someone on YouTube, and I'll try and link this in the description below if I can find the link again, who used like the simple things of this to make a mechanical steampunk style walking spider in this game. And things would just kind of blow up randomly, and sometimes it just wouldn't work. But when it actually worked, you were like, wow, that's incredible, the amount of things that you can do with just some relatively simple tools. So I guess the point of my entire ramble and venting video is that I'm frustrated that things aren't working, but that and only because there's so much potential here. And I am more sort of thinking about this game and more addicted to this game than I thought I would be. So if you're into the idea of like building machines and building medieval siege equipment, and of course you can build castles and stuff like that, that's like, it's funny, but that's like the least exciting part of this game for me. The building of different machines and the things that you can do to build machines in this game, that's like what's become more exciting for me. So if you're interested in that, I do recommend keeping an eye on this game. I wouldn't pick it up just now though, because at this point it's sufficiently frustrating and manky and dysfunctional enough that only the most patient of people are going to be able to do anything of significance. So that's kind of like my review of the early access. But it is very early in early access. Space Engineers has gone through quite a bit of its early access and has done pretty well. By the way, people keep asking about this, but they have separate teams work on these two games. They didn't like ditch Space Engineers. And I think there's potential there. I think they're going to fix things. They said they're aware of a lot of these problems that I've shown off in this video. And if they do start to get things a little bit more stable and working a little bit more as you'd expect them to, then there's going to be some really, really cool things you can build in this game. So one to keep an eye on, guys. And hopefully you enjoyed my kind of my little ramble video today. I just needed to talk to you about this game. I just needed to talk about it. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm Ziggy D, and thanks for watching. I think there was a slight lacking of destruction in this video, and I don't want to leave you guys hanging like that, so let's have one more firing of my ballistapult. Let's do this. Oh, not bad. We've started chipping the tower. I think eventually, maybe with a few more firings, it might come down. There we go. There we go. I didn't want to leave you guys hanging. I may have cheated a little bit. Oh, damn, that's satisfying.